Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Danindra Nararya Wisnumurti, grade 12 MIPA 1, and today I'm going to tell you a story about Little Red Riding Hood.
Once upon a time, there was a lovely little girl called Little Red Riding Hood. She had this name because her grandmother gave this red hood, and she wore it every day. Also, her grandmother loved her very much. One day, her mother said to her, "Little Red Riding Hood, please take this basket food to your grandma, and don't forget to walk on the path. Don't leave the path." "Don't worry, Mom. I'll be careful," said the Little Red Riding Hood to her mother, and set out on the way to her grandmother's house. Her grandmother's lived in a village on the other side of the woods. As Little Red Riding Hood entered the woods, suddenly a wolf met her. She had never seen a wolf before, so she didn't know they were so dangerous. "Good day, Little Red Riding Hood. My name is Wolf. Nice to meet you." "Hi, Wolf. Nice to meet you too." "Where are you going, Little Red Riding Hood?" "To my grandmother's house." "Where does she live?" "She lives in a village on the other side of the wood, over there." "It is the first house in the village," replied the Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf walked next to the Little Red Riding Hood and said, "Look at those flowers, Little Red Riding Hood. Why don't you pick some of your grandmother? Some Why don't you pick some of it for your grandmother?" Little Red Riding Hood looked and saw the pretty flowers, and she ran out of the path. She walked and started picking off the flowers. Meanwhile, the wolf ran straight to the grandmother's house and knocked on the door. "Knock, knock. Who's there?" "Little Red Riding Hood," replied the wolf. "I have some food for you. Please open the door." The grandmother opened the door. The wolf quickly jumped and pushed the grandmother into the closet. After Little Red Riding Hood had picked a bunch of flowers, she finally arrived at grandmother's house. She saw the open door and called out, "Good morning." There was no answer. She slowly went into the bedroom and saw her grandmother lying in the bed, looking very strange. "Oh, grandmother," she said, "what a big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, my child," was the reply. "But grandmother, what a big eyes you have," she said. "All the better to see you with, my dear," said the wolf. "But grandmother, what a large hands you have." "All the better to hug you with." "Oh, but grandmother, what a terrible big mouth you have." "All the better to eat you with." The wolf jumped out of bed and wanted to eat Little Red Riding Hood. She shouted and loudly tried to run away. Just then, the hunter was passing the house, and he heard a Little Red Riding Hood's cry and went into the house. "Go away, wolf," said the hunter. He pulled out his bow and shot the wolf. The wolf ran away. The Little Red Riding Hood and the grandmother lived happily ever after. That's the end of the story. That's all the story about Little Red Riding Hood. If there are any mistake, please forgive me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.